Arabian Nights.
Sure.
Nowhere affiliated with Arabian Nights. So this is each one of us interviewed somebody. You can see they're from all different age ranges, you know. And we wanted to know, you know, their feelings on the thing. And I don't know if any of you want to share, like, any of what you found. Did you have anything?
Well, a lot of people were local that we interviewed, and they did and were willing to travel down to Kissimmee, because from my neck of woods, it's a little bit of a drive, maybe 30, 40 minutes. But they were looking for a different or a new experience than they had received in restaurants before. So that was the biggest thing that we saw, was that people were willing to drive out if they were going to have a good experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, basically the thing I found was people either hadn't heard of Arabian Nights, or if they had, most of them were referred to by someone that had already been there. So it was really like the spread of mouth. Like people that went usually really liked it, so they would go ahead and then recommend it to everyone when they knew they were going to go to a show.
And the two I interviewed, it was a mother and a daughter, and the daughter worked at the airport. I guess you were probably doing some sort of a special that involved her company, so she went. And she had been in the like early 90s when it first opened, and she was remarking how different it was. And you know, they were overall impressed with the show on that. And
well, for me, it's usually from from family. They'll bring our kids along. They'll they grow up and say, hey, I've been there. I usually don't know about it, but like everything is basically told by word, So that's how we found out about it.
Okay.
That's how my friend that he went. So that's it.
And the people that I interviewed was also the same. They really hadn't heard about it, but I worked in hospitality, so I would always get the $10 come and you bring your family. So I came when Christmas, and I was like, wow, this is really awesome. But you don't really, being local and ripping and running in Florida, you don't think to say, oh, we have our own things other than Disney or Universal that you can also go to. So I guess it's more of trying to figure out how we can get the locals to know that Arabian Nights is here. This is a very, it's fun. It's very, everything for all ages, because I had a little one. She was around 2 also, and she had a ball. She loved it. So.
Right. Yeah, some of the people who did know about it but hadn't gone didn't really know exactly what the show was like. And so to me, they were a little hesitant to come. And then once they had someone who had already gone tell them about it, then they were like, okay, I'll go, and then that sounds like something I want to do. But it seemed like a lot of people, since they didn't know, they weren't willing to go and do the research on their own. But as soon as someone else that told them, oh no, this is a good show, they were like, okay, and then they would. That's how 2 of the people I interviewed had come finally to commit to going to the show.
I think that's one of the most popular ways for people to get information. It's one thing to read an ad, it's another to look at a website, but to hear from someone that the product is actually what you're advertising it to be, that is the best way to get someone in the door.
And the person I interviewed has come here many times with her family, and she chose this because it was more family oriented than, say, Medieval Times or Pirates Dinner Adventure. And she said that she would keep coming back as long as it was here with her family too.
Based on what we found, the price is good. You don't really have to mess with it. I mean, we searched a big demographic, a big cross section, and
I think if anything, if you tried to lower the price, people would have a negative association, thinking that they lowered the price because the show or the food quality is not the same.
See, I like her. She thinks
Well, that's yes.
But that is the association. They think
of
that it's a
course.
fair
Of
price.
course.
And if there was a lowering, and whatever discounts you offer are obviously acceptable, but if there would be a negative association with, there would be questions as to why. Why are they lowering the cost of the show?
Sure.
the ticket sale, or the ticket price is right on point with what most people expected to pay.
Yeah, and I was asked about that actually yesterday by the Orlando Business Journal, because they're doing an article on how gas prices are affecting tourism, because Orlando's a big drive market from both Tampa and Daytona Beach and Jacksonville. So they were talking about, are you offering additional discounts and things like that, and what we have found is people just want more value. Like, they're not at a point right now where they're going to give up their family vacation. They've already done that. They did that last year or the year before. Like, they've been pinching their pennies and saving, and this year they want to do something, but they're doing their homework. It's like you were saying, they had looked up other dinner shows. They look up what they're doing, and they want to know they're getting that value. So our strategy, rather than lowering our price, is to give people more for their money.
Right.
That was the whole concept with our pre-show, is let's give them more. Let's give them more interaction with the horses. Let's give them some appetizers when they come in. We're not going to lower our prices, but we're going to give them more for what they're buying.
That's going to blog, and of course the villain and the hero of the show. So that would be fun to keep the kids involved, because the kids are going to be the ones to say, "Mommy, Daddy, let's go back."
Right. Yeah.
I want to see what she
Well, you tried to do that with Abra, so maybe the princess would be a better character for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're probably more, again, that goes back to what I was saying with the commercial. That's the one they're probably most connected to, is the
Right.
princess. That's the protagonist of the story.
Yeah.
That's true.
Whereas
We're working at, Nadia came to us with no horse background, so we're brainwashing her into knowing about horses. So we're actually about to add another segment of our blog that's about the horses, where we have, things the performers have said about them, and we've added a lot of little video clips of, like, this is my favorite horse, and this is why, and this is what he does, and just more cute behind the scenes things, because they like the princess, but they love the horses.
Oh, the horses
Like, if
are
you do
the star.
entry and exit surveys, they're
Yeah,
here for the
for the
horses.
horses.
Absolutely.
Right, and for one of the main horse character to have a blog and talk about, the things that he's going through during the
Sure.
show. Because he doesn't really have a voice during the show.
Mhm.
They're kind of props. But if he had a voice on the website, that would draw people.
You
to
could
it.
misspell
They
words
made
like
me
the
do
chicken.
this.
Thank you for-
Today was